Finally, after 20 years, we're finally getting a LEGO Spider-Man 3 set, and oh my goodness, it's about time we finally talked about Spider-Man on this channel. This is one of the most anticipated LEGO sets I've had for the entire year, and when this leak came out a couple months ago, I was stoked. This is one of my most watched movies. I wouldn't call it my favorite movie, but Spider-Man 3 is one of those movies where I probably watched it like a dozen times over. I remember like every other weekend, I would essentially go and watch it on DVD, and it would be more of like just something I would just casually kind of put on, and basically can quote every single thing from the movie. And finding that LEGO can do a Spider-Man 3 set, especially when Mega Bloks, or now Mega Constructs, had the licensing back in 2007. They did have the Sam Raimi sets back in 2002 and 2004, but during the events of Spider-Man 3 and 2007, it was Mega Bloks. So now that LEGO has finally come back and owned the complete Marvel and Spider-Man license, and with the No Way Home sets that we've gotten, and the Spider-Man 2 set that we've gotten last year, now it's kind of odd that this one specifically is titled the Epic Battle Spider-Man vs. Sandman. Now it's something they're only doing this year with these Epic Battle Moment collections, and the only other one is the Hulkbuster for the Age of Ultron, which is an odd pick. So we basically have a non-MCU movie and an MCU movie to title it all off, but I think this is a fantastic LEGO set regardless. Now for only $25, I'm kind of surprised of how, you know, kind of big and small this set is at the same time. Like, to me, this is not a set that I think that modern LEGO would typically do anyways, but this is a nice little display piece. Literally for only $25, we get two exclusive minifigures and one figure that came in the No Way Home set, and technically last year we had a battle damaged version of Spider-Man Tobey Maguire. This is the Spider-Man 3 variant, which is basically the same as the Spider-Man 2 variant regardless anyway. So now the nice thing about this set is that the Sandman can actually be detached from the display, and it's basically like his own little thing. It's like, this was like the first build, so this was essentially the whole first bag, and this was the whole second bag to this set, and I thought like the actual Sandman build was a lot more unique in the way that they got the angles for the sand itself to drip, and the way that they actually have like these Black Panther pieces in dark tan to actually attach to his hands, so it makes bigger hands. Very unique. We haven't had like a proper technical version of this Sandman since like, and actually the one that came out 2 years ago was like the bigger Sandman that's more accurate to the Spider-Man 3 movie, while this one felt a little more like they did in the No Way Home. I kind of find that kind of funny, but the actual minifigure itself is really unique. Now this is like the full-on like Sandman we've ever gotten. Usually it comes with his like green stripes back from like 2015. They had his green stripes, and I kind of wish we did have that version of him in this, since that's mainly the version we see in the Spider-Man 3, but honestly I think it's very unique and very cool that his whole body is essentially sand in this, and I think it's really cool regardless, just for more of like a play feature. And like, you know what, he's a bit angry in this, and for a $25 build, this is kind of the best ideal way of doing it anyway, so I kind of like it a lot. And it actually is really cool because you could recreate that scene from the beginning of the movie, so you know what, I'm gonna give kudos to that. There's no double-sided face to it, but honestly, I think this could also double as a really cool Vecna. I don't know, like that's just like a weird thing I'm thinking of, but like, I don't know. The rest of the display is actually really unique and really cool, and I'm also going to go over a little bit of Spider-Man here. His whole web actually connects to these little poles right here. So Spider-Man in this whole set is a giant web, and it's actually a piece they've been using quite a few times here and there. I think it's a really nice little web piece that they actually have, but whatever. You guys are here for the main attraction, the Tobey Maguire minifigure. This is the cheapest that we've gotten a Tobey Maguire minifigure since 2004, and for that, honestly, I think they just kind of nailed it. It's the exact same one that we got in the No Way Home set, and the No Way Home set was $100 regardless anyway, and the set that came out last year was about $50, I think $55, so for like half the price of that, this is kind of the best that you can get. And since it's basically the No Way Home set, it's not an exclusive minifigure, so even if you got it on BrickLink, it's probably cheaper, but this is probably one of the most perfect Spider-Man minifigures that you get. I mean, essentially you get the silver eyes and the silver lining for the webbing right there. You get the classic Tobey Maguire minifigure logo right there, and dual molded for all you 6 Star Wars fans out there too. I really don't care about details like that, but it's nice that the LEGO actually does it, and I love it so much. Though the real reason I got this set was because of Venom, and specifically the Venom that I grew up with. The Topher Grace Venom looks pretty much perfect. Like, I'm more used to now like the Rivals and comic accurate version where he's a lot more buffer and bigger, especially with the Tom Hardy films. Though Topher Grace was the first way I got introduced to Venom, and the way that we actually get the silver lining on Venom for the first time. It's finally unique to have a size Venom like this that actually looks kind of unique and cool. Like, because of the bigger teeth, it looks a lot more like the Sam Raimi looks, and the tentacles look so good, and I'm so glad that they actually used this style for tentacles for him. Even though that you don't get to see that really in the movie, it feels like a good blend of the comic version on top of just being a good adaptation of the Spider-Man 3 Venom. So I'm really happy they did this. This is one of my favorite figures they have done in recent time, and it's probably one of my favorite figures so far this year. Though the actual meat of the build, which is basically your second bag, you really do get a really cool little plaque right here, a nice little printed plaque for Spider-Man 3, Spider-Man vs. Sandman, and Venom. Kind of funny, a little cheeky right there, since it's basically how the film was essentially advertised. Though you do get a lot of really cool areas right here where you get this nice little spiral for the black, for the sand right there, and you get a lot of cool black webbing for Venom as well too. So it's a nice blend of the movie, on top of it just having some really cool construction site pieces. Like this piece right here is massive, and it comes in a whole separate bag, and a couple of these big pieces come in separate bags, and the web too. So I thought that was really unique, and there was a lot of unique pieces that were used for this set. And actually, I think this might have been a piece that came out last year, but I have to give it out and give it a little shout out here. It's basically one of those slow pieces without the grill. It's just like smoothed over, but I think it's a really cool and unique piece that they added to these sets. If this was in a previous year, please let me know, but I gotta look on BrickLink to check it out, because I hope they use more of these pieces. I'm honestly surprised they haven't used these before, after essentially this mold has been used in so many more past the years. Like, I really think the spirals of the sand that goes right here, and like how you can actually attach this, it's only on one stud, and I think the only slight thing for me is that like just putting the stud on, it will always make it slightly uneven. Like, you do get like part of the spiral to like attach it through, so I think that really works, but it's very easy to take it off, which is a good and bad thing in my opinion. But honestly, I just think it displays so well, and this set is mostly made for a display. Like, I really think that, like, while you could give this to a kid, I really think they would love it so much, but I think that because it's specifically Spider-Man 3 with the plaque, with the way it's made to be displayed, it's, you know, I think it's catering, like, that Lego is going more towards adults, and especially with the now new footage of the Smart Brick 2, I'm kind of seeing that like Lego sees like that as like actual play sets now, and they're starting to look at these kind of sets as like, well, these are more for people that are gonna buy adults anyway. Like, this went on a back order already right now, and I think that like it's crazy that like Lego has really changed a lot within the past 20 years, and kind of looking back 20 years ago, like, oh, well, they didn't have this set come out, versus, oh, well, now it's obvious that they made this set because it's based on, like, fan demand. I just think that Lego has really, truly changed over the years, and I don't think that's, like, a good nor a bad thing. I just think that, like, for someone like me, this is amazing. I'm so happy that we can finally get sets like this for a movie we would never think would ever, like, be having a set made. Like, 10 years ago, this movie was clowned on, even though I loved it, and I always watched it, like, regardless of what anyone else would say. But nowadays, it's kind of weird that this could be a set that we can be made, and any movies with sets that can be made. That's what jumps out to me, like, immediately. Like, Batman and Robin get a Batmobile in March, and Spider-Man 3 finally gets a set. I thought these are the worst superhero movies made of all time. It's probably a discussion I would like to discuss further. This is not a set I want to do a one video topic on, but as like an initial review for $25, what are you doing? If it's available at Lego, if you see this set at the Lego store or any other store, just pick it up. If you want a Tobey Maguire for cheap, pick it up. If you want any of these characters for cheap, pick it up. And actually, it's a really nice display for a desk too. So, what are you doing? You're watching SMIBB bricks. I'm not like some other YouTuber that's gonna be like clowning or panning or trying to be very negative about this. You know what? If it's worth it to you, it's worth it to you. So just disregard the last 10 minutes. We're just gonna, you know, just buy it. And even having these sets side by side, it's kind of crazy. Now, obviously there was another No Way Home set that was compatible with this, and I think that's kind of funny because honestly, I think even just like the dimensions for this new Lego Spider-Man set can still fit very nicely, even on top of this beautiful set right here. And look at that. Wow, that is kind of crazy. Okay, it really doesn't. I mean, I'm really trying to show this the best that I can, but it really half does, half doesn't. You would make some, you would have to make a lot of modifications to it, and honestly, I might even make some modifications for this Lego set. But obviously, for this $100 value that you get with such a big set versus the $25 you get with this, it is kind of night and day, and it starts to make a lot of sense in my opinion. Like, this is made so you can display your minifigures in a really nice little cool action battle, while this one was definitely more in tension with a play in mind for children, while also being able to display very nicely on a shelf. And I think for both these sets, they kind of do that very nicely, but it's obvious that this one kind of does it for the display, even though I kind of think you can kind of have your cake and eat it too. So then again, the nice very thing is that if you didn't pick up the other No Way Home set, this is great. And even if you didn't even have this set in your collection, I still think this justifies even having something like this in your collection as well, as it's probably very common to get this Tom Holland minifigure. I would say that honestly, not having an Andrew Garfield Lego set yet is kind of disappointing. I think like at this point, I hope that the next set after this Spider-Man 3 set will be to get an Andrew Garfield proper Lego set that's outside of this one. And actually the nice thing about owning both of these now is that I both have a Spider-Man 1 Green Goblin and a Spider-Man 2 Doc Ock, and now a Spider-Man 3 Sandman and Venom. So to be honest, it's already a perfect combination of Lego sets, and I would like to go more in depth with these, but I just really wanted to show this off in a video for once. I don't even think I've talked about this No Way Home set yet. But what is it gonna matter? You guys are all gonna be in Doomsday anyway, so like who cares? And hopefully we get some brand new day minifigures where we can also get a Paul minifigure. I would love to get Paul. That would be so cool to compare with this MJ minifigure. That would be just swell. Or I could mock this for my Euphoria build. That's a video I'm gonna be making this year. You get excited.